Peace and wellness, Soul Tribe. Welcome back to my channel. New and returning overseas in America. Welcome to all of you. I am the TheGeecheeEmpress, and in this community, we are bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual worlds. Guys, today, April 20th, 2005, Resurrection Sunday. And while I know that some people don't necessarily follow the tradition or the church framework, okay, I personally, and I know of many, whom still honor the symbolism of what this day represents in the spirit. And what this day represents in the spirit is resurrection, ascension, rising, reclaiming, returning. All right. Now, y'all know that the card of the day today was the judgment card, and I don't believe in coincidences. I do not believe in coincidences. I believe that everything happens in divine timing for divine reasonings. The judgment card in tarot is equivalent to them bones in the Hoodoo tarot, okay? And in this video, we're going to talk about that because I have a message for someone, and it's not going to resonate it can resonate for everyone, but I understand that not everyone is in a space to receive. Okay. But if you're someone who you're in a space to receive and anything in this message blesses you, I'm asking you to hit the like button as you come in. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And absolutely share this message with someone else who you think may need to hear it. Now, I want to talk about the Dim Bones card in the Hoodoo Tarot because it is the Judgment card in the regular tarot deck. But I'm going to tell y'all. That card is about facing yourself, but it's also about the ancestors speaking. And it's also about a time when the thing that was buried begins to come up and demand acknowledgement. Okay. And in this season, right? This is a season where you cannot pretend any longer to be dead in certain areas where God has called you to live. And so I'm talking to the collective, right? I'm speaking to people who have been bound by certain things, fear, shame, worrying about what people say about you, things like that. Okay. I'm here to tell y'all on this day, right? You've got to rise up. It's time to rise up. It's time to rise above. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you, a part of the healing journey, a part of this journey, the shadow work, the healing, again, dealing with the things that were once buried that come to the surface and demand acknowledgement. Those old wounds, those childhood wounds, those things have to be dealt with. You have to acknowledge those things. You have to absolutely face yourself in order to rise above, in order to break free, right? If you're dealing with shame, there's something there that needs to be acknowledged, right? And that acknowledgement will break you free, set you free, will break the chains that keep you bound to that shame. You've got to rise up. You've got to rise up out of the shame, out of the fear, out of what people have said about you, And you especially have to rise up out of the BS that you have been conditioned to believe about yourself that came from broken places, because you were never meant to stay there. I hope y'all hear me, okay? You were never meant to stay there. You were never meant to remain bound in these dry, dead places. And so it's time to rise up. Now, I want to talk to my people for a minute, because y'all know I'm Gullah Geechee. Okay? I'm Gullah Geechee. And I'm going to tell you, in our culture, when the bones get to rattling, you know what I'm saying? Something is about to move. My elders would say, when the dead start speaking, you better be quiet and listen. And today, y'all, the spirit world is talking. It is saying to you, no more playing small. No more playing small. No more waiting for validation. And no more letting your gifts just rot in the grave of fear. Okay? Because you are the answered prayer of your bloodline. You have to know this. You are the blessing that somebody before you never got to live out. And so in this resurrection season, it's personal. It should be. It should absolutely be. I don't know who needs to hear this, right? But listen, you've already survived your cross. You've already survived it. And guess what? It didn't break you. We all have a cross to bear. Okay? That's life. You've already survived yours. The betrayal of it did not break you. The silence of it did not break you. And what looked like the burial was not the end of your story, because guess what? Now it's time to get up. Resurrection is here. Ascension is here. It's time to rise. And baby, you don't need permission to do so. You need power. And guess what? You already have the power inside of you. You just have to recognize it and get up. It's time to walk in what you've been called to walk in, without fear, without shame, without apologies. It's your season. And the time is now, y'all. And I know that a lot of this message is metaphorical, so I hope it doesn't go over anyone's heads. It is my prayer that this message finds everyone who needs it, and that you are blessed with the capacity to understand what I am saying here in this message. You don't need permission. You don't need anyone else's permission to get up, to rise up from the pain of your past, from the shame, from the hurt, from the betrayal, from the unforgiveness. You only need power. And I promise you that you are equipped. You have everything inside of you that you need to rise up. I wrote an affirmation for today, and I don't usually do this. I know that I always include an affirmation in the daily message post with the card of the day. And I always include affirmations over in Patreon, but I never give affirmations that I may write personally for myself. But I am going to share this one because I feel like it's not only for me, it's for the collective. I rise fully and freely as the one my ancestors knew I would become. I reclaim every part of me that I buried to make others comfortable. I am no longer sleeping on myself, and I rise in divine authority and ancestral strength. Let me tell y'all something, because I've been there. I've done that. I know what it feels like. I made a decision to rise up. I made a decision to get up, to rise up from the ashes years ago. Like the sun rises each and every day. And I'm a Leo. So I'm the sun, you know what I'm saying? But I made a decision to do so unapologetically, and I didn't give a damn who was or who felt offended by it or who didn't like it or who felt like I was too much. Baby, I'm not too much. I am just enough for the call that God has placed on my life. I am just enough for what my ancestors have chosen me to do. That's why they chose me. I am just enough for the mantle that God has placed on me. And that is how I had to see that. When I rose up with those things in my mind unapologetically. And I urge you to do the same, because there are people out here waiting on you to heal and be obedient so that you can do the thing that God has called you to do. I don't know who this message is for. I do pray that it reaches you, and I pray that you all have a blessed day. Y'all know a Sunday well spent brings a week of content, and so this is the day to reset. This is the day to relax and just prepare for the week. I am praying that you all have an abundant, prosperous, and blessed week ahead. Okay. And until next time, peace.